My friends, welcome. This is Archangel. So, I have 2 emails to read to you, which deftly demonstrate the qualitative difference between liberation males and vaginisty clowns. Email number 1. Dear AA, life. It's composed of many things, but the most significant element is time. That might be a term that humans have invented to measure our own entropy. But the fact remains that we cannot reclaim a single second of the past. Money, for instance, is always recoupable. Time never is. You give your time in order to intelligently and succinctly articulate things that are, in fact, very difficult to articulate at all. You give your time in order to record unenviable truths, elephants in the room that manage to evade people's programmed blind spots, nuggets of tough love wisdom, galvanization talking points, and compliments to other men in the form of a refusal to condescend, i.e., your view that your male listeners can accept reality without a sugar coating. You give your time in order to create films based upon said recordings, and in order to edit them, upload them, and type up all the notes. Your very lifetime is indeed spent for the benefit of other men. As noted, some things are very difficult to articulate. As just one listener/viewer, I offer my deepest gratitude. But that doesn't sound like enough. Thank you, in all caps, doesn't quite cut it either. If I can be of assistance at any time, you have my email address. However, the only skills I possess that might provide some use to others include writing and editing for grammar, word format, rhetorical flow, etc. And you're already good at these things. I'm also a composer and musician, but I can't see how that's relevant to your channel. Maybe you have some tedious busy work of some kind that I am not aware of. By all means, hit me up. It's the least that anyone who benefits from your efforts can do. If the only pertinent assistance would amount to spreading the word, then I'm already doing so. I recommend your channel constantly. I am aware that you are not interested in ego inflation. My motive is to expose your words to as many men as possible. The statements that you make must reach many ears. It's funny in a way. I was going my own way for a couple years before I learned that there was a loosely defined group of men who communicate online under the initials MGTOW. At first, I questioned the need for a group at all. It struck me as a comical contradiction in terms. Men going their own ways, together. But I suppose it provides a convenient way for men to search for videos, articles, etc. that help with self-galvanization. In fact, speaking of being a grammarhead, I'll correct that set of initials. It's not an acronym, incidentally, as acronyms spell out actual words with their capital letters. The first word is, of course, men, and plural consistency will make the term more intelligent and less stereotypically dumb male, like men going their own ways. Yes, I know it's pedantic, but what can I say? That's me, picky about clear communication until the end. For what it's worth, 5 years ago, after parting with the last woman with whom I made the mistake of trying to live, she had kept her sociopathy and borderline tendencies hidden before we rented the house and moved in together. Yeah, there should be an award ceremony for the acting skills of women who are trying to hook men. I said to myself, no more. I've had enough women. I am aware that I am fortunate, as I was apparently born without a loneliness gland. I love solitude, and everything that I enjoy doing indicates being alone. So it hasn't been difficult for me to go without so-called companionship and so-called intimacy. I'm also lucky in that I've dodged many bullets. I've never been married, and I have no kids. Whenever a girlfriend began to pester me about marriage, I had misgivings that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and I broke up with her. I have a great job that entails a massive amount of free time, and I have nobody with whom I have to share money. Nobody whose entertainment and well-being I have to consider along with my own. Nobody to try guilting me into spending less time alone, etc., etc. I'm nobody's utility. I even like to be off the grid, so to speak. I rent half a house from an elderly person that I never have to see, and I don't even have my own internet connection. I use a neighbor's. He allows me to do this and refuses to take money from me. He's generous, he's kind, he's a man. I don't even own a car, as I enjoy walking and I like to stay fit. I don't feed the oil industry my resources, any more than I feed the cell phone industry. It was a brilliant plan on somebody's part. Get people to actually want to buy their own Orwellian tracking devices. They give no thoughts to what they're enabling. That's the outcome of a potent combination. Clever marketing and billions of impressionable Western world media casualties. So I'm quite literally going my own way. I don't play the game called society at all. I just don't play. I also cut off all Congress with women, sexual and otherwise, about 5 years ago, and I've never once regretted it. Men are at their most clear-headed and intelligent when they are alone, and it would perhaps help men out if they were to practice feeling gratitude about solitude. If one is secure enough to be happy in his own company and smart enough to entertain himself, he'll feel those relationship chemicals bleed out of his head. The relief will be downright palpable. It also helps to eschew television, as it insidiously implants the romance narrative and the societal bias towards coupling. TV isn't just selling you products or politicians, it's trying to sell you an entire lifestyle. It might take some time for a lot of guys, but once that chemically induced mindset of seeing oneself as part of a duo is gone, and once one realizes that it's a myth, that he is not living an incomplete life without a companion, he'll look back on the depths to which he once sank to attain the approval of women and laugh. He'll laugh like only a free man can. Personal freedom is our most important asset, and we must cling tenaciously to it. This includes the freedom of personal expression, which itself includes the freedom of speech, and it definitely includes freedom from slavery to women. I find the game laughable, as it involves men who make themselves just as subservient to women as they would be if they were in relationships with nagging broads. Everything that a pickup artist spends his money on, i.e. trades his time, his very life, working for, and the way he dresses, the way he acts and speaks, the places he goes, the way he has his hair styled, it's all geared towards gaining the approval of women, strangers at that. He's still the desperate little dog, altering everything about himself just to serve the perceived desires of females, so that he can get one of them out of her clothes on occasion. Pathetic. On behalf of all men, thank you again profusely for all that you do. It makes a massive difference that might not be apparent to you right away, but it really does. You've changed lives, and you will change more. This will perpetuate, spiderweb-like, until the source can no longer be traced and essentially won't matter. Heroes, after all, are often unsung. This doesn't make their deeds any less heroic. With vast sincerity and respect, CF. Okay, now email 2. Dude, you are a fucking loser. You're an idiot. Get a life, prick. Signed, nothing. That's it. Nothing else. So, what is the difference between these two authors? Quality. One demonstrates himself as brilliant, intelligent, articulate, a gracious warrior with a soul as deep as a well, who refuses injustice and takes the time to write a beautiful symphony of words to someone with whom he feels is spreading good in the world. He is clearly a model that other males can look up to and take pride in. Now, as for the email from the Vaginisty representative, yeah, I think you can see the difference for yourself. The difference between blue pillars and red or even black pillars is quality of character content. Liberation from female addiction frees males to embrace their true brilliance and genius, while addicts still chasing their fix of female validation and acknowledgement. Well, as demonstrated, they are dumbed down, simpleton drones who turn to insults and violence when they are met with something that they do not understand or disagree with. Brilliant, awakened males make me swell with pride to call these fellow brothers warriors whom I fight alongside. Oh yes, there is a difference between the awakened and the unawakened. Quality. My brothers, stand with me, live free.